Soft actor, Jeopardy champion. That was one of my favorites. And he is here talking about his second book in this series. And so I will let you take it away.
Take it away.
So tell me about your book.
Okay. Well, this is the fourth in the Anna Gray series. Anna Gray, if you haven't met her before, is an FBI agent based in Los Angeles. And she's a unique individual in a lot of ways. I think of her as a woman warrior because she is, she confronts things in a brave way with a tender heart. And she's also unique because she's biracial. She's part Hispanic and part Caucasian, and that is the theme of the first book, North of Montana, where she actually discovers her true identity because she never knew where she came from. In this book, jumping a couple of books in between, we take her to Italy, and she becomes involved with the southern mafias who are trying to infiltrate the north. And this book, the title, White Shotgun, is a literal translation from the Italian Libera Bianca, which means a mafia term for when a body is never found of a murder victim. You're said to have gone white shotgun. And of course, it's a mafia technique for installing terror in the survivors, because not having closure, not knowing what happened to your loved one or how they died or when, of course, lingers in the imagination even in a worse way than knowing. And the book, it's more of an international thriller, even though it's still an FBI-based story, but as you may know, the FBI has no jurisdiction abroad. So the obstacles for Anna, finding herself there in the situation in which, again, she's pursuing a kind of a family mystery. She discovers she has a sister she never knew she had. The obstacles for Anna are that she, her badge and her gun are meaningless over there. So she has to interact with the locals. And I don't know if any of you have been to Italy or been to Siena, but try imagining dealing with Italian bureaucracy to get something done. It's hard enough just to go to the post office over there. So, if you like putting obstacles in the way of your characters, as I'm sure you do, there's a lot for Anna to deal with. And the climax of the story and the way it builds is the Palio, which is the famous horse race that's run in Siena twice a summer. And it's the craziest, most dangerous, most insane horse race in the world, where they actually lay holy dirt around this piazza, and 60,000 people cram into this space, surrounded by these old buildings, and the horses run for 90 seconds, and the riders are bareback, and the rules are you can push the other guy off the horse, you can hit the other guy with a whip, and the whips are made of the penises of calves. I mean, it's creative. So anyway, it's kind of a nice summer trip for Anna, and for anybody who wants to go along.
Well, it's
so
interesting
that's this one.
that you feature the which mafia is it?
Well, Androgena.
Okay.
Based in Camorra.
Yeah. So I feature the Camorra in my book as well.
That's right.
It's interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Part of the book takes place in Naples. This is the second Tyler Locke thriller, and one reviewer called Tyler Locke a combination of Indiana Jones and MacGyver, because he's a former Army combat engineer who is now working in the private sector as chief of operations at an engineering firm, and he keeps getting swept into these adventures involving ancient mysteries. So in the first book, The Ark, he was trying to find Noah's Ark to stop the end of the world. And in The Vault, he is on a ferry in Seattle on his normal daily commute to Bremerton, and he gets a mysterious phone call from a stranger who says that there is a truck bomb on the vehicle deck, and he has 20 minutes to disarm it before it explodes and sinks the ferry. Because he's a former Army combat engineer, he's also an explosives expert, and that's why he's been chosen. And when he gets down to the truck, he finds a woman there, and finds out that she is a classical languages expert named Stacy Benedict, and she's gotten exactly the same phone call, which seems very odd to both of them until they realize that the bomb is connected to an ancient Greek puzzle designed by Archimedes, and they have to work together as an engineer and a language expert to solve the puzzle. When they do, they find out from a ruthless criminal that this was merely a test to see if they could go on a seemingly impossible quest, which is to find the legendary gold of King Midas. Some reviewers have thought that they're after the Midas touch, the actual Midas touch, and some reviewers have thought that that seems like a ridiculous idea, but they also, when they read the book, find that it's actually has a scientific rationale. There's no magic in my books. I try to give these a scientific basis. So, this is not a supernatural cause. There really is a Midas touch, but has a different basis than you might think. So, this book spans Europe as well, and ending in Naples, and which is where the Camorra are from.
Right.
And so it's interesting that we both feature them.
So you have a scientific background? I mean,
yes.
Sort of a technical background, it sounds like.
Yeah, I got my bachelor's in mechanical engineering and my master's and PhD in industrial engineering, and I've written scientific papers, and so it's kind of near and dear to me to make everything in the book at least have some kind of plausible scientific explanation, even if it's a little over the top or far out, so that it's rooted in the real world. Now, your background did you start in TV or did you move there? Because I only found out when I saw Robert Crace at Thriller Fest that he used to work for you on Cagney and Lacey.
He worked for me. I was his boss.